Welcome, everybody, to Inside Boxing Daily on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Inside Boxing Daily, though, is brought to you by BetDSI. Make sure you pay attention to that because we are now brought to you by BetDSI, which is one of the sports betting industry's leading bookmakers. They're over in Europe. They've been around for over 20 years. And the great thing about them is they give our listeners the best deal possible. You can go to thegruelingtruth.com, click on BetDSI at the top of our page. When you click on that, it will give you up to 100% cashback bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. So make sure you check out BetDSI. Also, the Retired Boxers Foundation, Alex Ramos, Jackie Richardson, check them out on Facebook. And I got to turn my phone off so I don't get dingers. I had somebody that sent me a nasty email once that he could hear the dinging on the phone during one of the shows, so he wasn't going to listen no more. But I know he's still out there listening. But, all right, I am your host, Mike Goodpaster, and right now I want to welcome in my co-host, the illustrious, the dapper, the always candid, Jeremiah Preisser.
Thank you. Very astute introduction there. Very much appreciated. Let's get this thing going, man.
Shit. All right, let's do it. Tomorrow night, we have a portion of heavyweight championship that will be fought for. But we're not going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about the card on DAZN. And the thing that's the most impressive to me about this card on DAZN is there's actually like more than one fight I want to see on it. I mean, we've got, Josh Kelly, Ray Robinson, Chris Algieri, Tommy Cole, Katie Taylor, Delphine Pearson. I don't know if that's how you say her name or not, but I do know she's a lot better than Christina Hammer. Caleb Smith versus Hassam Ndam, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. So it's not like a high quality, everybody's a great fight here card, but these are all, at least, these guys resemble fighters, Jeremiah.
Hell yeah, man. No, I'm with you, man. It's nice to find. And to be honest with you, DAZN is doing a pretty good job with this stuff. I mean, I find myself watching their undercards more consistently from about top to bottom than just about anybody's because, with a lot of top rank stuff, you'll see some up and coming prospects who are likely to be contenders in the future. So there's a reason to tune in there. But in terms of like 50-50 matchups or close to it, yeah, this is about the best thing you're going to get, man. I like it from top to bottom, even the Algieri Cole fight.
All right. Well, I know you're a big fan of Chris Algieri anyway.
I like him, man. I like him. He's hot. No, but I mean, it's
what?
Algieri. Yeah, he's hot. No, I mean, the thing about Chris Algieri is I like the dude. I follow him on Instagram a lot, and he's just – you can see that sports science degree that he has really put to use. He actually just put out a book. I'm not naming it because I'm going to try to get him on the show so he can promote it hopefully after he's done beating Tommy Cole. But yeah, he just got a new book, and it's about about diet, and I mean just the meals this guy makes. I mean, he really looks like
diet's he on? I may want to talk to him anyway.
Dude, it's worth looking. I mean, just the sheer creativity in the meals that he makes is really impressive. I mean, he mixes avocados. I mean, you just have to go to his social media page and look. I mean, the guy, again, you can see why he has a degree. And not only that, the dude's shredded. I mean, real shredded. I mean, this is a guy who I do think is probably doing it naturally, but he's just got it so down, fine-tuned that it's, that's the reason he's getting the way it is. But, yeah, him against Coyle's a good fight. I mean, Coyle, I think, unfortunately, was one of those guys who – had some like IBO trinket, and he actually, initially he was like, that's no world title. And then as soon as he was fighting for it, he's like, I'm a world champion. I think Algieri's going to win here. I think Algieri has a good feeling that he's going to win here too, because he's been talking about moving back down to 140 and fighting Maurice Hooker. Claiming that he wants to fight for the belt that he never lost. So I hope that's the way it goes. But Coyle and him's a good fight. Not real big bangers or anything, but they fight enough, to provide some excitement there. So I'm looking forward to it. But I got Algieri by decision.
All right. What about Josh Kelly and Ray Robinson?
That's a good fight. I like that too. I mean, after watching Aegius Kavialauskas earn a draw with him. And Kavaliauskas was pretty sharp early on, but Robinson came on. He's a veteran. He's fought all sorts of up-and-comers in his time. I think this is going to be a damn good gauge for Kelly to see where he's actually at in his progression. If he loses, I really wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, Robinson's a tall guy. He's got some savvy, not a big banger. But
he's been in against some damn good fighters. Kavaliauskas, as you said, Ugas, Prescott. I mean, he's fought some guys, and yeah, that would make me worry about it a little bit.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Kelly is a guy that I like just because you don't really see a lot of guys. You don't really see a lot of British fighters who are defensively savvy like he is. Sometimes you'll get some Latin guys like Canto or, Miguel Lora and some others, and then of course you get, guys like Winky Wright and Mark Too Sharp Johnson and guys like that, but not typically the Brits. A lot of those guys are not defensively minded like that. You do get some boxers like, Pat Caldwell was a boxer, but, Howard Winstone. But yeah, Kelly's kind of different because he's savvy. He's not the traditional boxer where he stays, behind a tight guard and blocks and moves. He has real good upper body movement, and he's got quick hands, and he can double and triple that left hook. In fact, I think in one fight he threw about 6 of them in a row. So I like what I see out of the kid so far. My concern is his power. He doesn't really look like a big banger. Physically, he doesn't come across as being all that imposing. So we're gonna have a good look at the kid here, and we're really gonna see where he's at. But I think he earns a close decision here.
All right, then we've got the biggest women's fight of the year, Delphine Persoon. I don't know if it's how you say her name or not, but it's what it looks like to me, against Katie Taylor. And when I look at this fight, I think Katie Taylor is as skilled as 90% of the men that are boxing. And when you look at that and you look at the fight she's been in, I really like to watch Katie Taylor fight. I mean, you don't get the real big threat of a knockout with the women, but Katie Taylor is miles ahead of Clarissa Shields, I think. And let's face it, Persoon, from what I've seen, is a lot more talented than Christina Hammer.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the places that actually have a women's pound for pound list, Delphine Persoon is rated higher than Christina Hammer, and I think she's
43-1 too.
Yeah, so. And I think she has been for, again, there hasn't been real any real solid pound for pound list that I've seen, but Persoon, like you said, she's 43-1. She fights in a division. This is what we've got to understand. I mean, the problem is just about none of us are historians when it comes to women's boxing, so it's hard to put things in a perspective. But where I go with it is Delphine Persoon is fighting in a deeper division than somebody like Christina Hammer. And so I believe her talent is a bit more fluid, because when you look at 168 for the women, I think there's only 15 women that are ranked in the entire world. And then I think when you move down to middleweight, you've got like 30. I think there's about 40 to 50 women total in those two divisions combined. And I think
what? I bet Paulie Malignaggi will become one of them transgenders once he hears about this. Because he could drop down to 140 and win a title without a problem. Yeah, and plus, he'd be a pretty hard puncher for a woman.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, well, and I think that's right up Paulie's alley. I mean, he's doing the bare knuckle boxing thing, so who knows what he's going to be up to after, especially if he loses. Especially if he loses to the guy.
If you lose to bare knuckle boxing, then basically you're done fighting, right?
Well, and I don't even think he's fighting a boxer. I think he's fighting an MMA guy. So I think that makes it even a little bit different. So, I don't know. I don't know what Paulie's deal is, but yeah, Delphine Persoon, I think. Just from looking at the list, is considered a better fighter than Christina Hammer. She's in a division that's more packed, and there's more fluidity there. So you have more people who can move down, more people who can move up. So I think the talent level is a bit better. So yeah, this is a big fight, but it's because Katie Taylor is not out there on social media talking about how she's the greatest of all time. That's part of the reason why you're not getting quite as much hype here. I mean, even some of the Irish guys that I know, and I've got quite a few of them as friends on Facebook, and some of them, actually, irishboxing.com was complaining about how little attention she's getting with this. But, this fight makes her the lightweight champion of the world if she wins. Again, I don't know how good Pursoon is, so maybe I'm mistaken.
Let's face it, Clarissa Shields gets fake attention. It's because they have to put her on because she won 2 Olympic gold medals and she's a woman. And if they don't, everybody's going to say they're sexist. But when she fought Christina Hammer, the numbers were like 300,000. Nobody really cared. They just don't. And with Katie Taylor, there's some Irish people that care. But overall, and I care because I actually like Katie Taylor. She seems like she's a nice female. And I mean, the other thing is this. With Christina Hammer, let's face it, the only reason Christina Hammer was considered a serious candidate here is because she is not ugly. And no, she's not pretty. But for a female athlete, she looked pretty damn good. So
especially for a female boxer.
Yeah, especially if they put a bunch of makeup on her and put her in something skimpy, which was the only sell there. Because I think between the two, Christina Hammer and Clarissa Shields, they probably had the IQ of a rock.
Maybe. Don't give the Rock, don't insult a Rock like that. But no, I don't.
No, I'm not talking about the Rock. I'm not talking about.
No,
Dwayne
I'm talking
Johnson.
about a Rock. I'm talking about a Rock, not the Rock. No, but I mean, I don't know much about Hammer. I mean, she's from Europe, so her education is probably quite a bit better than whatever especially Flint, Michigan, where you get shitty education and you're drinking lead-infused water. So I don't know if that's all. I don't know if that's all Clarissa Shields there. I don't know, but Hammer's probably all right. Again, the education there, but then again, she grew up in Kazakhstan, so I don't know. But my thing is that this is the thing: is you have Clarissa Shields on social media all the time touting herself as the best women's boxer of all time, and because she's in everybody's face about it, she's getting more play because of it. Katie Taylor is doing it under the radar. She's a good ambassador of the sport. She's quiet. She's conservative. And, she's lacking in attention because of it. But anybody who follows the sport, even you and I who really aren't women's boxing fans, we realize that this achievement should put her in the number 1 pound-for-pound position, not only because she looks the part. Again, if she looks good, right? There's got to be context there. This win constitutes a better win than Clarissa Shields over Christina Hammer. And
put it like this, Jeremiah. Whenever you're winning a world title in your second or third fight, your competition's not very good.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because actually, if you look at the fastest fighter to ever win a world title, and I'm talking about men and women, the fastest ever is actually a woman, and I think she won it in her second fight. So you can get by with this stuff a lot easier than you can in the man's. In fact, if you win a world title in your, second or third fight as a man, you're pretty damn special. But because the competition's a lot better, of course, a lot of it's political maneuvering.
You never know, though. You could be like the WBO champion and be the guy that sucks. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this is a big win if Katie Taylor pulls through, which most people expect. But then again, I don't really know anybody who knows Pursoon, so I'm lacking a lot of context here. I'm just kind of following the party line and saying, yeah, she's going to win.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Pursoon is pretty damn good, and everybody's just been ignoring her because she fights in Belgium? I don't know, but I expect Taylor to win. All I know is if Taylor wins, this is a bigger win than Clarissa Shields, and she deserves to be pound for pound number 1.
All right, next up we got Callum Smith against Hassan Nadam. Now, I favor Callum Smith here, but I will give Nadam this. He had a win against an old, faded Martin Murray. Split fights with Ryota Murata. Has fought some good guys, lost to David Lemieux by a unanimous decision, beat Curtis Stevens and Fulgencio Zuniga. Now, I'm not saying those guys are good fighters, but they're decent fighters. Lost the unanimous decision to Peter Quillen. So he's been in against some good guys, so I don't think he's going to be intimidated by a guy like Callum Smith. What kind of a shot do you give Endom here?
Not a good shot. I mean, Endom is still a good fighter. I mean, I've seen him a good number of times. When you talk about the Peter Quillen fight, he actually outboxed Quillen for most of the fight whenever he wasn't getting knocked down. I mean, he's a good mover. He's got a good jab, good boxing skills. His defense is pretty tight, but it's just his chin that seems to let him down. And actually, he was scheduled to fight Gennady Golovkin, I think, years and years ago. But I guess it makes sense why he didn't get Golovkin this time, because I remember he was being passed around as an option. And then, it just kind of fell off. A lot of us are in the dark about that stuff anyways. I guess we know why now. He got a shot to Callum Smith. And I'd probably rather fight Callum Smith than Gennady Golovkin at this stage anyways. But he's still shown that he has a little bit left. He had a big knockout. I think it was last year. He one-punched a guy. He's got good movement. That might give Callum Smith some issues, but Smith is such a tall guy, and I think he'll be able to cut off the ring well enough to get it done. I expect a mid-round stoppage here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Endom does better than expected. Again, he is a good boxer, but I'm with expectations here. I mean, Callum Smith should be able to track him down and get it done. Endom is not that big of a guy, and when he's moving up, the power is just going to affect him even more.
All right, next up, we have the main event for a portion of the heavyweight championship tomorrow night. Andy Ruiz Jr. will fight Anthony Joshua. You want to tell us what they weighed in today at?
Oh, dude. So, yeah, it seemed like they were both on the big side there. So Anthony Joshua came in at 247, and what was it, 247 and a half? And Ruiz came in at 268. What the hell? I mean, I thought I was at least in tune with his career somewhat, and I thought he was like a 230, 240 poundish fighter at his best, but 268, what the hell? That is, I don't think that's a good sign at all. I mean, yeah, he's got quick hands for his size, but what is that size going to do? I mean, I don't know if they're planning some sort of strategy where they're going to try to rough Joshua up, but being 268 pounds looking like that compared to Anthony Joshua's is just, I don't think it's going to get it done. I mean, I think Ruiz has been getting, he's a good fighter. Again, he's got quick hands, but the dude's only 6'2". I mean, he's only 6'2" as a heavyweight. He did struggle against Parker. And we saw Anthony Joshua outbox Parker clearly. I think Ruiz could have some moments in the early going when Anthony Joshua is trying to figure out his range and, trying to figure out how to handle the hand speed. But I think Anthony Joshua's really just going to keep him at distance, land hard blows. And I think he's going to get him out of there fairly quickly, too. I actually think he's going to get him out of the mid. I don't know if he's feeling pressure to try and, make a highlight reel stoppage, because we see a little bit what it did with Deontay Wilder, knocking out Brazil like that. I mean, it would be great to get a highlight reel stoppage, but Ruiz, he's more defensively responsible. I expect he put a lot of emphasis on that. He doesn't want to get blown out early, but I just think Anthony Joshua's going to use his distance, keep him at bay, and eventually he's going to get caught. I think he stops him about 7-8 rounds. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the distance. I mean, after all, Takam is a savvy guy, and he should have went the distance. But I don't know. At that weight, we often talk about Anthony Joshua's stamina problems. But at 268, I don't see him lasting long either. So I don't know. It's not a good sign in my opinion. And again, I think Joshua gets him out of there.
I think Joshua gets him out of there within 3 or 4 rounds. I don't see how somebody that's that fat can have a chance. I mean, and I'm an equal opportunity offender here, because it's the same thing that I've always said about Jarrell Miller. How can you take somebody serious that doesn't take themselves serious? And you're not taking yourself serious. I mean, I'm not going to take off my shirt and go up in the ring in Madison Square Garden with tits. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, it's not acceptable. I mean, guys like that don't become, they oftentimes, I'm trying to think of a guy like that who's won, and again, this is not for the heavyweight championship of the world, make no mistake about that, but I'm trying to think of a fat guy, a guy who looked like that actually becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, Vladimir Klitschko, he was beat by Lamont Brewster. Brewster didn't look like
Yeah,
that.
Brewster wasn't fat. I mean,
no, he wasn't. I'm trying to think of. Corey Sanders, he didn't look like that. I'm trying to think of all the heavyweight champs. Lennox Lewis didn't look like that. Vitaly Klitschko obviously didn't look like that. McCall didn't look like that. Rockman didn't look like that. I mean, dude, I don't know what you think you're doing to yourself. I think it just shows that the game's not as serious as it used to be. I really do. I mean, you have a lot of these people are like, oh, well, look at these super heavyweights. They're so big. Come on. If
there's
you
a
show
difference between big and fat.
Exactly. Listen, there are bigger guys. You do have the Vladimirs and Vitalis and Anthony Joshuas, and Tyson Furies. Yeah, sure, you get some of that. And that's part of the reason why some people say, oh, that's why we need a super heavyweight division. Listen, Deontay Wilder is knocking guys out, 215-ish pounds. You don't need to be that big.
The better fighters in the heavyweight division have usually been somewhere between 200 pounds and 230 pounds.
Right.
There's been very few giants. I mean, the Klitschkos were only in the 240s, weren't they? Maybe
exactly.
250s?
Well, and they were in the – yeah, exactly. I mean, they, on the large side, they'd be, I think I think 245. But, even earlier –
And a young George Foreman was 220, 225. Even an old George Foreman was 250, 255. Every once in a while he'd hit 260. But, I mean, Andrew Ruiz, the other thing that strikes me about Ruiz is this. Everybody brings up the Joseph Parker fight. But that's kind of a matchup where both of those guys are going to kind of stand there and look at each other and throw a punch every once in a while. The fight that stands out the most to me was the one he had less than a year ago against Kevin Johnson. And they fought it at the Save Mart Arena. But it was it took him a unanimous decision to beat an old Kevin Johnson. Now, he may have looked good against Dimitrenko, but Dimitrenko was last good win.
I mean, Dimitrenko's, I think, broke the top 10 like 10 years ago. I mean, the dude's obviously a faded light. And you bring up the Kevin Johnson fight, but I would also add this was a while back, but it was Sergey Lihovich.
Yeah, that was in 2014, and Lihovich didn't have nothing left then.
No, well, Deontay Wilder wrecked him, and Ruiz, I believe, again, it's been a while since I saw that. It's been 2014 since I saw the fight. It wasn't one of those ones I'm going to go back and watch. But I believe Lihovich was pretty competitive in that fight, and it was partly because of his size. So, again, I don't think Ruiz has good hand speed. That's the only advantage that he has. You could say, hey, he's bigger. No, he's not. He just weighs more. He's not bigger.
No, and if you look at these guys stand next to each other, I mean, Kevin Johnson looks like the little fat catcher on a 12-year-old Little League team.
You mean Ruiz?
Yeah, and Anthony Joshua looks like the dude that's a major league player that's about to give him an autograph. I mean, because I keep waiting for what they need to do is that picture at the weigh-in. They needed to have like a baseball glove on each one of them and have Ruiz like handing him the ball so he could sign it for him.
Yeah, and he's all rosy-cheeked. He's like...
Yeah, because he pretty much is rosy-cheeked because he's fat.
Yeah, well, he's all bright-eyed and like he's meeting his hero or something. I mean, when you look at it, I think that spotlights it perfectly. When you look at them beside each other, one actually looks like, one looks like a bodybuilder, really, and the other looks like a regular fat dude. I mean,
It looked like me before I lost 60 pounds in the last 4 months.
Yeah, I don't understand why this guy can't work it off. I mean, I get it. Some guys have body types that just aren't conducive to, being ripped. It's a fact. I mean, some people just can't do much about it. But looking like that, that's the best shape you can get into for your, the biggest fight of your life. I don't know. I'm pretty skeptical about that, but just by the way he looks, it just doesn't look like it's going to be competitive.
All righty, and we're not competitive anymore because we're going to wrap the show up now. And for full disclosure, can
I mention something real quick?
Yes, because Jeremiah has to go because his wife's making him do stuff. Go ahead.
God, I hate that. I hate it.
According to what
Well,
stuff it is, but go ahead.
I wanted to say that we should mention this because this is important. But Wanang Menayothin is now 53-0.
Would you say? Are you allowed to use that kind of language on the air?
I don't know. Hopefully the
What's
FCC.
his name? Liang Miniotham?
Wanang Menayothin. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If you're Thai and you're listening to me speak and you're like, God, what's this like milk smelling retard, talking about?
You were just a racist against yourself. That could get you in
know.
trouble nowadays too, I think.
I know. Isn't that what the Chinese say about Westerners that we smell like milk? Isn't that the stereotype?
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I
don't think I smell like milk. I
dog.
just smelled myself, and it didn't smell like milk. It smelled like I probably need to get a shower when the show's over, but it didn't smell like milk.
Yeah, me too. I smell like. Anyways, that's the stereotype.
He smells like KY jelly. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Wanang Menayothin, the Thai guy who fights at like 105, he's the running joke, right? Because Floyd Mayweather fans, they're all about the 50-0, and it's an achievement unto itself. Well, this guy's 53-0. And it's funny because he gets press only because of his current record. Unfortunately, he's going to lose one of these days, and it'll just kind of go by the wayside. But he's not really fighting anybody worth crap that I'm aware of, anyways. But it's just kind of fun to keep that running, and it highlights why people need to worry about the context and not just some shiny zero on in the loss column.
Yep. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up. I want to remind everybody that you can watch boxing on the Facebook Grueling Truth page. And if you go there, you can see stuff like tonight. We had Hagler Mugabe, the entire pay-per-view card. And you can see what me and John Einreinhofer pine about when we talk about the way it used to be. Because it used to be really good. I mean, we had Hagler Mugabe. You had Canizales fighting. You had Tommy Hearns on the card. But you can check that out. You can also check out a young Roberto Duran against Villamar Fernandez, which was an absolutely great fight. And these videos will run periodically all the time. You'll get new ones pretty much every day, boxing-wise. You go back and click the videos section, and you will find a ton of stuff, not just boxing, but mainly boxing. Make sure you go check out the Retired Boxers Foundation. Also, make sure you go to BetDSI. TheGruelingTruth.com. Click on the BetDSI banner, and like I said, you put in $1,000, you'll have $2,000 to play with. They'll give you a 100% cashback bonus. If you're just going through the BetDSI logo at the top of the page or banner, use the promo code LEGEND just in case, but you will get a huge bonus there. So make sure you check that out also. We're going to wrap it up. You want to do a show after the fight tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm in.
Let's just do it. Screw it.
Yeah.
We'll do it. And don't say that bad word. We got BetDSI may not like when you use bad words.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. I just clicked on the banner, too. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah, it does. It takes you right to TGT BetDSI. So, this is nice. We got our own little thing on here. I like this. You want to see the odds for the boxing real quick before we go, or is your wife waiting for you to come on?
Nah, just hurry it up, bro.
Okay. Just tell her it was my fault.
Okay.
That's what you tell her all the time. That's why you're still married. Tell her it's my fault.
Just delegate.
All right. Chris Algieri is a minus 270. Tommy Cole's plus 215. Get this. This is interesting to me. Ray Robinson's plus 450 against Josh Kelly. I think almost 5-1 odds.
Oh, damn.
Delphine Pursoon is a 9-1 underdog against Katie Taylor. And Katie Taylor is a minus 1667. Delphine Pursoon is a plus 893. Get this. I've never seen this before. Hassam Ndam is plus 2,057 and Callum Smith is infinity.
What the fuck?
I don't know what that means, but he's infinity, which think means if you bet on him, they just keep your money. Andy Ruiz he's up to a plus 1185 now, which is almost a 12-1 dog. Anthony Joshua is a minus 2500, and just for shits and giggles, Gennady Golovkin is minus 10,000 against Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls is a plus 1593, 16-1 dog. Any underdogs on there that you would be interested in betting on?
Not really. I think
I'll tell you, the Ray Robinson at plus 4.
Yeah, the Ray Robinson's the only. Yeah, that's the most appealing one of all.
Just because Josh Kelly is an eye test guy, it's not that we've really seen him fight somebody yet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's better than Kobielauskas at this point. I don't know, man. That's tough.
All right. But if you want to bet on the fights tomorrow night, make sure you go to BetDSI, go through our webpage. If you go to betdsi.eu, you can use the promo code, I think Legend. Don't quote me on it. Just go to thegruelingtruth.com. You click it at the top of the page, and we've got our own landing page with the Grueling Truth on BetDSI. So make sure you check that out, because if you don't want us to be bought and sold. See, that's why we had to make John Einreinhofer, since he's a PBC shill, he only gets to be on once a week. Me and Jeremiah are still not on the take yet. So if you don't want us to be on the take, you gotta have some money coming in.
Yep. Help us out.
Before you know it, it could end up with me, Jeremiah, and John every night at 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock just talking about the PBC, and you don't want that. All right, guys. We want to thank Retired Boxers Foundation, BetDSI. We want to thank everybody for listening to us. Tomorrow night we'll be on about 10 to 15 minutes after the conclusion of the Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz fight. And until then, we will talk to you guys later. Remember, you can hear us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn. Wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find the Grueling Truth. So for Jeremiah Preisser, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.